Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play for Football Manager 2021 as we continue our Journeyman Glory Hunter series. We just finished our season in Serie A, and yeah, let's get through the transfer special and obviously the season review as well. All right, here we are. Here is our SS Lazio end of season review for the 2032 season. This is what season number. My videos real quick. We're in season. This is the end of season number 13. So we're about to start season number 14. Whew, a lot of seasons. But let's get into this. The new arrivals. Like I say it that way every time. Oswald coming in here, 34-year-old center back from Liverpool. We got him for 21 million. Oh, it's still set on pounds from my kid or Mr. Kids. Well, pretend that says euros. 21 around whatever that was for euros. 7.06 average rating. He actually scored 3 goals, 51 appearances for the 34-year-old. Really, really outstanding servant here for us. Did a good job for us. We have to pay more if he hits. Or did we already pay more? I think we had to pay more if he hit 50. Oh, no, 50 league games, I think it is. Which he shouldn't be at 58, 51, 50 league games yet. So if we play him this next season, we will have to pay more to Liverpool, I believe. But if he ends up retiring or if we decide not to use him, then, or maybe just use him as a substitute, then we might not have to pay that out. We'll see. They were only content with that deal, though, even though he was our highest rated newcomer. Joan coming in here, though, from Chelsea. 32.5 mil pounds, of whatever that is in euros. 7.01 average rating, 15 goals from Joan. So really good, honestly. There, 11 assists, so pretty solid. Display from Joan here. Apparently, they're really delighted to see him. 26 years old, so he's definitely got some more years to come from him, and we'll see what he can get out of that guy. Peter's coming in here, 6.99 average rating, not bad. Not a huge number of starts, a few substitutes. A bit expensive maybe for someone who's just coming on as substitutes, but I think he can grow into something. And actually, the board was actually relatively okay with that trade as well. Mitrovic coming in here, 18 goals, 5 assists, 6.98 average rating, 29 mil, just a world-class midfielder. He actually did really good job for us. 18 goals from a midfielder, although I think we played him a lot as attacking midfielder, to be fair. But still, really solid performance from him. So I think he's going to be somebody we might hold on to. We'll see. DeFabio, this might be one of the less impressive. I don't know. We paid a lot of money for DeFabio and only got a 6.9 average rating for him. Now, it could be just that we were misusing him or any number of things, but he is a world-class midfielder, so it's possible we may decide to sell him on or to get some more money coming in. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. I've been thinking about that since the last episode I recorded, because it's actually been probably a week or so, because I did a bunch of episodes in batch. So I've had lots of time to think about what we want to do, and we'll go over that as we get into the transfer special here in a bit. Masson coming in here, 23-year-old striker, B+ from the board. Not a huge, average rating. He only started once, 8 substitutes, only a couple goals, but I think he's got a decent future ahead of him. I think we could develop him, and if nothing else, he's not super expensive, so he might be good. It's just a good substitute from this point forward. Who knows? And then here's the rest of the guys. Relatively decent. C for Hussam. João Felix, he has a B-. Honestly, Hussam 2.3 mil. It was worth the risk. Why not? João Felix coming in here, 7 mil. He actually picked up 7 goals on 20 appearances, which isn't too bad. And Di Bartolo, we actually got a B for this one, to be fair. We didn't pay a lot for him. I wasn't super impressed, but he was just a loanee. So, we don't have to keep him. So there's that. Here's the ones that left us. Stefan, they actually got a B+ for Stefan, getting 14.5 mil for him. Fernandez going out. They didn't like this one very much. A C-. He actually went out and did really well. Actually, Stefan did really well as well. Cisse, only C+. Splinter, C. Splinter was the big one. Splinter was the risky one. Splinter was the one that arguably we could have done better had we kept him. I don't know that we would have, but there's definitely an argument to be made there that we could have. Peterson, we got a B- for. McKelly here. Wonder Kid, we got a C+ for, so not the greatest. Pippi, C-, clean C-. Anybody else here that's really good? Antangena, however you said it, 8.5 mil. We weren't using a winger, So that's the reason we got rid of him. They actually didn't like that trade at all. Elena went out for a decent amount. We got a C. Sabai, whatever. We didn't get much for him. A minus. Good whoop to do. A couple loans that left. Anybody else here that nothing else I see here? That's that. Loans out. Here's the loans out. One of the loan outs that I really, really want to bring back and see what he can do for us is Ferrari here. I thought from what I saw, he played really well for Torino. 7.03 overall. Not bad for a good center back, especially if we're going to potentially not be holding on to Oswald. I don't know if Oswald will stay around. It's possible that Ferrari can come in and stick that spot as a youngster coming in. A couple other guys that seemed like they did pretty decent in their own little clubs. So that's not bad. But yeah, A minus actually for Ferrari. So there you go. The season's results. I mean, you guys know these just as well as I do. Second position. We did qualify for the Euro Championship Cup. So there is that, which we weren't. I was not surprised by that. That was the expectation. Speaking of European Champions Cup, we got knocked out in the group stage here, obviously because we were up against Barcelona and Ajax, and they just tore us apart. Definitely outclassed by those two guys for sure. Euro Cup, we did a little bit better, although we did get knocked out by SLB here in the quarterfinal. It is what it is. I think we could have potentially done better there, but it just wasn't meant to be. Italian Cup. Oh, remind me of the Italian Cup. Oh, the heartbreaking loss against AC Milan in the final here. Just, what do you do? I mean, what do you do? Just, it is what it is. Move on. we can't change it, so we move on and we try to do better this next year. So, here are the moments to remember. A 5-0 win against Crotone, who was the team that came up from the lower league. So maybe not super impressive, but not bad there. Goal from Splinter. Goal from Daka. A pair of goals from Places and a goal from DeFabio. And then we had a match to remember against Zebra. We beat Zebra. We have Zebra's number big time. Get a hat trick from Splinter there in that game with the goal from Joan as well. Goal of the season was a Places goal against Genoa. I have a feeling I remember this one. Let's go look at it. But I think I remember this one. Because I think this would have been one we called out. And I think I said, there's your goal of the season right there. Maybe. Let me just see if this is what I remember. Let's see here. Places gets the ball, pushing the ball up. Almost gets crossed up there with him. That's not the one I was thinking of. I mean, it was a good goal, to be fair. He did all the work himself, but definitely not the one I was thinking of. Man, if Places had played that well in all the games from that side, I think we would not be talking about, definitely wouldn't be talking about not winning the cup game right now. It's possible we could have caught Inter, but it's kind of unlikely. Inter's really good. Like we've got to play our game and just do as good as we can, which is about what we've done, and then just hope the Inter messes up. Like that's the only chance I think we have is that Inter just starts failing themselves, and then we take that spot. Broadcast revenue was actually quite a bit down. 15 mils down is quite a bit. Corporate hospitality was up a little bit though. Competition prize money way down. That hurts us a lot on the financial side of things. And then everything else, as you can see there. Nothing else changed here. No new sponsors, no nothing. Shirt sales. João Felix picked up a bunch of sales. Places, obviously, to Fabio, Mitrovic, and Daka. So the usual expected. I'm not too surprised there by that at all. How we lined up. I mean, obviously, we ended the season in this 4-3-3 with no strikers, but Joan and Splinter and these other guys. Well, I guess not Splinter anymore, to be fair. But Joan, Felix, those guys playing kind of that striker role basically for us. We'll see. I haven't decided what formation we're going to use this next season. But one thing I have thought about, and I mean, you guys can correct me if you think my thinking is wrong, because I've been watching a few other YouTube streamers and things like that, and just different bits and pieces there about Football Manager, and I see a lot of just out of the box kind of crazy formations that you might not normally think of. Like there's a lot of what am I trying to say? Non-symmetrical like formations. Maybe a pushed up winger on one side, or maybe two strikers on like over on the left with your winger, like a winger that's attacking winger on the right side, and those kind of your structure. And a lot of that comes down to, I think, playing people in the positions they're really good at, and then just fitting a formation or come up with a formation and a set of instructions around that. So that might be something we try and do. We might try and look at the people that we have and then just see, okay, where would this person be best at? And then figure out what formation fits that mentality, even if it's one that we have to kind of come up with ourselves. I don't know, play around with something, experiment with something. All right, so fan player of the season was Places. Definitely, he played well for us. There was a couple times that he just fell flat, and I need to get him being more consistent. Young player of the season, obviously, signing of the season was Oswald. Wow, I'm actually surprised that they say that. I know he played really, really well, but I'm kind of surprised that they called this the signing of the season. Goal of the season was from Place, and obviously we saw that. Top goal scorer was Mitrovic, 18 goals from that guy. Crazy stuff. Most assists was from Places, 16 assists. That's a lot of assists. Most player of the match awards was from Places. Highest average rating was from Places. And most passes completed per 90 minutes was to Fabio. I mean, we didn't get the 50? No, it wasn't 50 goals. What was it, 30 goals? How many goals did we get from Daka last season? We'll have to check here in a second. We got a ton of goals from Daka. Youngest player, Pravasi. Highest transfer fee received was from Splinter, although we got none of that in the transfer budget. That all went to the club. Probably still the right thing at the end of the day, but it was painful. All right, before I get too crazy here, I'm going to change this back to euros, just because, for one, I remember the prices that we got for people on the euro side of things, and the money that we're seeing here is a little different. Lazio side of 2026, we don't care because we weren't here. We were quiet and leaky on the defense, but we were aggressive and clinical. We were one of the most aggressive clinical attackers out there. I mean, Inter is way back here. So that tells me that we just need to figure out how to get our defense just a bit better, and we might be all right. We actually got a lot more goals than our XG would have told you we should have gotten. We got quite a bit more points than our points should have gotten, but we did end up in the position that we were expected to end up in. So, there's that. And we were better on every single thing than the average, which is good to see. Club vision and expectations play counterattacking. Really? I don't typically like counterattacking football, but maybe it would work. Maybe we at least make the club. I mean, we don't always have to go with the board. The board's gonna be happy if we're winning. Period. Hands down. They don't care if we don't follow the thing that we have here, as long as we're winning. But this is something to be thinking about. Something to kind of consider at least. Develop players using the club's use system. We'll try and do that a little bit. Work within the wage budget, obviously. Increase commercial revenue. How do we do that? By signing and using players who bring a merchandising boost. How do we determine that? I'll have to figure that out. They obviously want us to qualify for the European Champions Cup again next year, reach the first knockout round, and our contract expires here at the end of this year. So it would be a nice year to get everything done. Challenge for the Serie A title, work towards winning. They actually want us to win the title within the next few years, which is obviously I want to do it a lot faster than that, but it's good to see that they think we can. Dressing room atmosphere is really good right now. We'll hold our end of season meeting. I think we can win the title. They're going to probably not like it. A couple of them are satisfied. A couple of them were hurt. I'm going to... They're offended. Why are you offended? Like, I think we can. We're second place 2 years in a row. Like, how are you offended? Fair enough. I don't want to reach the final. That's fine. We'll say knockout stages. Yeah, they're satisfied with that at least. We'll discuss promises later. We'll see you at the end. I mean, it could have gone better. I still stand by my statement, though. I mean, I think we should be pushing for the title next year. Maybe there was an option to be challenging for the title as opposed to just outright winning it. Maybe that would have been the better one to go for. That's all right. Training camp destination. You guys can't see this. I just realized. Let's see here. Let's go for... We can keep it local. You know what? Let's just go to the USA. Play some teams over there. Why not? I need to go home, see some family. Okay, move on. Anything else here we want to look at? Player of the year. Well, of course, the Inter player. No big surprise there. Manager of the year. I mean, it's not going to be us, right? I mean, we're in the list because we obviously did really well. Neymar? Is Neymar a coach? A manager? That's kind of awesome, actually. I'm sorry. That's kind of cool. Wow. All right. We're going to vote for Neymar because, why not? Manager of the year. Again, we'll vote for Neymar here. All right. Well, there's that. Real quick, I just want to check because like I said, I was curious. I can't remember exactly how many goals Daka got for us last season. He got 40. That's right. He was one short of 50. 49 across all competitions. 38 in the league. That's a lot of goals. That is a lot of goals that we were missing out on. I mean, he did score 10 this season. That's 10 this season he scored with guys like Places picking up a bunch of goals, guys like Mitrovic picking up a bunch of goals, guys like Joan. I mean, instead of getting one player getting all the goals, Daka, we spread the goals out a lot more this season. So I felt like that was okay. If we go look at the Serie A here, and go look at team detailed, like see average possession, we were fourth. I mean, I definitely wouldn't mind seeing this a little bit better, a little more possession minded, but it wasn't bad. Headers won. We actually were really bad on the headers won overall. Of course, Inter was down there too, so they just didn't win a lot of headers either. Ratio, though apparently our ratio was a bit higher than I was expecting. We just didn't have a lot, but we actually had a pretty decent ratio. Points per game. I mean, we were second, obviously, so there you go. 20 games in a row without a loss. Oh, we scored in 15 games in a row though, so that's pretty interesting. What else do we look at here? Yeah, games scored in a row. We were number one. Zebra was number two. Games without conceding. Yeah, we had 0 games without. Did we? No way. We conceded in every single game. What? That's not possible. I think I'm reading this wrong. It must be games without conceding, like in a row, like current streak, like as in because we conceded in the very last game that we played. It's 0. That has to be that because obviously we've had more than 0. We had games without conceding. We went up against Zebra a couple of times and they didn't concede, or we didn't concede against them. So I was a little trying to read that. It's a little weird. I mean, look, 111 goals from Inter, but we got 95. 95 goals from us is not bad at all. We only scored 2 goals from corners though. They scored 12. I mean, that's definitely something we can try to improve on. I need to look up either some strategies on corners or something and see if we can get a better improvement out of our corner goals. Because even if we got 6 goals out of corners, 8 goals out of corners, like we don't have to get 12, but if we got a few more goals out of corners, that's a couple of other games that we might have won instead, So something to try out. Obviously, goals per game, we checked that. Expected goals, we definitely overachieved there, which was good. Penalties taken. We didn't take a lot of penalties either. Only took 2 penalties. Scored in 1 of them. Crosses completed. Our crosses were not very good. Goals from corners. Again, we saw this. Really, really low on this list. I mean, even if we were as high as Perugia and Sampdoria, who knows how a couple of those games that were draws or a couple of those games that were losses, but only by 1 goal could have turned around. We don't know. Goals from free kicks, only 1. I mean, really, really bad there. Clear-cut chances created. This is going to be interesting to see. 38. I mean, not bad. Still not as many as they had, but not bad. I mean, we want to keep this number relatively high, obviously, because that's going to be the more clear-cut chances we create, the more goals we get. So that's just the way. Obviously, that's logical, but that's the way that works. Actually had a highest conversion rate, really. Between shots and actual goals, we had the highest. That's kind of fascinating. Anything else we want to look at here? We did concede a lot of goals. Oh no, sorry, we did. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this backwards. We were actually top 6 for the lowest number of concessions, but Inter only conceded 30. So if we can cut that down to like 36, take a few of those off, that would make a difference as well. So something to think about. Conceded from corners. And we only conceded 2 from corners, so that's impressive, I would say. Direct free kicks. We didn't concede anything from direct free kicks. We conceded 7 from indirect free kicks. We were the worst at indirect free kicks. We need to check on our kind of our setup for that and see if we can fix that for sure. That's definitely really, really bad. Clean sheets. We had 15. I mean, respectable. Definitely want to get better there. Anything else I want to look at? Average attendance. I mean, we're third, but we're still nowhere near close to where Inter's at. Goodness. Only 81% of our capacity. Wow, we definitely have some room to grow there. How many sellouts do we have? 2. 2 sellouts. Our fans need to come show up and support us. Net transfer spend. I mean, we were down at the bottom because we actually gained money as opposed to spending it, but we didn't get to put that in our transfer budget, so that's part of it. And then overall salary, we were still 4th. So we're definitely doing good from a salary percent, how much we're paying our guys and really doing a good job there. I mean, if we had Zebra's money, I would have to believe that we could really be challenging for Inter right now, even more so than we already are. All right, well, there's that. But like I said, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at who we have that I just feel like we need to get rid of because maybe they just didn't play very well. I mean, honestly, probably anybody below 6.8. So Barella here, anybody below here is probably definitely on the potential chopping block. So look here. I mean, but some of these guys are not worth that much. I mean, João Felix worth a little bit, so maybe we move him on. Ostergaard, maybe it's time to lose him. And there's just not a lot of money here, and we're not going to be able to keep much of the transfer money, if any. I think it's still at 0, isn't it? Check this. Oh no, it went back up to 70%. So we're actually going to be able to keep some of that transfer money if we sell a couple of those guys. So if we want to bring somebody strong in, we may have to sell one of these higher, valued people as well, just to get somebody in here that can do something for us. Overall, though, if we go look at selection info, I mean, to be fair, Legal, 7.07 average rating for the entire season. He picked it up a bit. He definitely picked it up a bit. And so maybe he's worth keeping around a bit longer. Maybe we can make do with him for a while longer and save ourselves a little bit of money and spend that money elsewhere. We'll see. But I'm going to go put a quick pause in here. We'll come back when there's something new to update you guys on from the transfer side of things. So we'll see you guys in a bit. All right, we are back, and today is the first game of the new season, which you will see in the next episode. But we're going to go ahead and show what happened with the transfers. As you can see, we are out of money. We have spent all of our transfer money. We're technically just a tiny bit over the wage budget. It is what it is, nothing I can do about that right now. But I tried to get away without having to give up any of our really good guys. I did ultimately have to give up one of them. We got a good offer for him, and it opened the door for me to get someone else in a position that we were kind of weak in. And we had some strength in the position that this guy was in. We'll show you in a second. But so that's why we did it. Hopefully I don't come to regret it, but we'll see what happens. Here's the transfers. Let's start with the outs real quick. As you guys can see, we had a couple small transfers. We had Sonshin here, 32-year-old goalkeeper, backup goalkeeper. We sold him for 2.5 mil just to get something coming in. Danuzo here coming out. He was a 16-year-old striker. Didn't really have a ton of potential. We sold him for 1.6 mil. We got a 20-year-old right attacking midfielder on the right and a striker. Decent potential, but honestly, I don't know that we were ever going to see it. So 2.1 mil up front, up to 6.5 mil. A couple of these obviously within league, so we'll see how those guys turn out. And then the last small one was Muratori here, 16-year-old. He has a lot of potential. So maybe this is a mistake. Going to Zebra, who knows? Maybe a couple years down the road, we're going to see Zebra with a star striker named Muratori. But I was trying to get some more money in to kind of make some things work the way I needed them to work. And so getting rid of some of these small guys made a lot of sense. Actually, I guess we technically got rid of 2 big guys. I've got rid of Nanad here, who played really well for us last season, 6.99 average on 22 appearances. He didn't appear a lot, though, to be fair. Good average rating, but we had a lot of other options in his role, and so we didn't really play him necessarily a whole lot. Got him in for 18.25 mil when we got here. Sold him off for 35 mil to to Man City. Um, some interesting stories here, by the way, and I'm going to get to that here in just a second. But we sold him to Man City for 35 mil. Uh, I don't know. It's hard to say if this was the right move or not. Biggest reason I made this move is because Ferrari, who we had out on loan, has developed outstandingly when he was away, and he would have come in probably as the starter anyway over in Nanad. So with that guy as the starter, Nanad still coming in as a kind of a backup, getting $35 million for a guy that 35 million euros, I should say, for a guy who would have been a backup, felt like a pretty good overall deal. We then got rid of Mitrovic, and this is the one I'm probably the most hurt about. He went to Real Madrid. 42.5 million up front. Quote go up as high as 63 million, and he's valued at 60 mil. So I mean, we needed to go up that high, to be fair. But he was definitely going to be one of our starters in the midfield, and I had a lot of hopes for him. He played 6.96 last season, and we just got him in last season. So he played really, really well. Played a lot of games, 13 goals, 3 assists, 2 player matches. I mean, I thought he was a good player, and I wanted to keep him around and see what else he could do. But we got a lot of money for him. We actually basically almost tripled the money that we paid for him last season. It's really hard to say no to that, especially with the way our finances are. We've got to get the money where we can. And selling him is really what opened up the door to fill in another hole that we had. And I'll show you that here momentarily. Real quick story about Man City and Real Madrid. I'm sorry, it wasn't Man City. It was Manchester United. But still, Manchester United and Real Madrid. Manchester United came in with an interview for us. And I didn't apply for anything. I didn't put my name out there. I just took the interview. If they had offered me the job, I would have come back earlier. You guys would have seen that, and we would have talked through it, and then we would have decided, or I would have decided, I guess. But they ultimately did not offer me the job. I guess they just decided I just wasn't quite the right fit. And the person who took that job, it was the manager from Real Madrid. But as soon as he did that, Real Madrid came back about a week later and offered me an interview. And I was considered the front runner and all this other stuff. And I don't know, something about, I actually told them, they're like, okay, we're hoping to go for, fighting for the title. And I actually said, I think I could win the title with Real Madrid. With the money you've got and everything like that, I think I could win the title. And one of the reasons they didn't want to hire me was because they didn't like my league expectations that I put forward. I'm like, so you would have rather I reduced my expectations? Like, what? Like, it made no sense whatsoever, but whatever. So Real Madrid fell through and we didn't go to them, but it's interesting that, they were in there, and actually Man United is over here. So, I knew Man United was in here somewhere. So here's the guys we brought in, and there's the ones you probably care about most. Asier Jimenez came in. He comes in as a strong midfielder, attacking midfielder option. Current ability, 3.5 stars. Potential could go as high as 5. 19 years old. He's considered a wonder kid, fairly sporting, shoots from a distance. I mean, he could fill that Mitrovic. I can't say his name all of a sudden. Mitrovic, yeah, I said it right. He could fill that Mitrovic role real easily if he develops just very quickly, or who knows. I mean, even if he doesn't develop real quickly, I think he's going to slot in pretty readily for us right away. 7.14 last season for First Division Alaves in Spain. That's not bad. That's not bad pedigree right there. 9 goals, 5 assists, 3 Player of the Match awards. We got him for 51 million. He is valued at 45.5. So we overpaid maybe slightly, but if he develops into a full 5-star potential ability player, then we didn't overpay. His value is going to go up. He's going to skyrocket. So I think that was a good pickup for us. And that midfielder option opened up my comfort a little bit with losing Mitrovic. We then brought in Ander Galan here for 9.25 mil. He comes in as a good backup midfielder, defensive midfielder, or central defender, just backup. I mean, 2.5-star current ability, could go as high as 3.5-star. 20-year-old wonder kid. It didn't cost us a lot of money. I felt like it was a decent pickup for that. He played in Turkey last season, 7.16 average rating. Whatever. Like I said, it may or may not have been a good move, but we didn't pay a ton of money for him, so we'll see what happens. Although it's a lot of money for us, to be fair. We then brought in Moritz Bülow, German kid. Another one. I didn't intentionally go out to get a bunch of wonder kids. It's just kind of a combination of the ones that I could afford and fit some of the roles that I wanted. And then if they develop and we can sell them on for a lot of money, then that helps the squad a lot. So he comes in as a good, decent striker option here. He's fairly determined, which is always good to see. 3-star current ability could go as high as 5-star, maybe. But he's definitely going to be good. Hopefully a solid backup for us. He was on a 7.15 in the Bundesliga 2 last season, 7.23 the season before that. So he can play. Now it's league below kind of where we're at basically, but we know he can play. So we'll see what he can do for us. And if he continues to develop, then we're going to be very happy that we picked him up. Oh, we then picked up Van Dongen here. Strong attacking midfielder. 4-star current 4-star potential. I mean, he's already basically at his potential anyway. 28 years old, so he's got the experience. He can play on the left if we need him to. He can play midfielder if we need to. Technically, he can play on the right if it came to onto a pinch, but hopefully it doesn't come down to it. He played for FC Bayern the last couple seasons. 7.02, 6.94, 6.97. So he's actually been pretty good in the Bundesliga. Honestly, he's been very close to or above a 7 for many years now. I think he's going to be a strong player for us. Should slide in right away for our team. Decent price. Honestly, the biggest reason I got him is because his value was at like 52 mil. It's dropped down a little bit, but it was at 52 mil. And initially they were saying, we want 52 mil for him. And then I don't know if they talked to him or if he fought for it or whatever. I saw that I kind of had kept an eye on him. And I saw that they'd slashed it down to like half price discount, 50% off, down to 26.5 mil. And so I was like, all right, we got to get this guy. I mean, he's got to at least be worth 26.5 mil to us. And I think he will be. And here's the big one. Here's the one that when we sold Mitrovic, and the only reason I even said I agreed to sell Mitrovic is because I knew that I really, really wanted a central defender. And I felt like that was the biggest weakness we had. Our defense last season just needed some help. And bringing in a strong central defender felt like a good idea. So we brought in Alejandro Cortez here. 4.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential, 28 years old. So he's already there. Elite center back, perfectionist. He argues with officials, apparently. I'm not sure if that's good. But knocks ball past the opponents, stays back at all times, which is actually something we probably want. Somebody to stay back there, be a cover defender, something like that, to just kind of anchor down our defensive side of things, especially since I didn't pick up a goalkeeper, as you guys saw. They're just so expensive to get goalkeepers. They're so hard to get right now. And obviously he doesn't take long shots, which is fine because he's not going to be pushing up anyway. He could play as a defensive midfielder if it came to that, or on the right. Technically, he could apparently play a makeshift striker role, which is kind of fascinating. He's actually got a lot of speed, to be fair. So I think he's going to be a strong player for us. He's got a lot of, decent strength. Not a lot of strength, but decent strength. He's got good jumping reach, good 6'4". I mean, is this guy going to be a target for corner kicks and things like that? Probably. So we'll have to make some adjustments there. But very, very tall guy. Where's his, that's his jumping reach. Where's his heading? 13's not great heading, but that jumping reach, goodness. I mean, this guy's he's gonna at least get up there. He might not get it on target, but he'll be the one that hits it. So it may see a lot of balls go over the goal because he doesn't quite have the heading that we're looking for. But he's gonna be the one that's getting his head on it because he's so tall. So should be a good player. And so overall, if we look at here's the tactic we're gonna be playing basically. I'll show you that a little bit. It's a little lopsided because I want to play Ferrari in his best role. I mean, if it comes down to, if it looks like we're getting too many people in this corner that are causing us troubles, then I'll pull Ferrari back. No big deal. No worries whatsoever. That is completely acceptable. I can do that. But I want to try and push him up a little bit just to see what happens with him. I'm also playing a lot of these guys in some very unusual roles that I've never really played with. I'm playing, it's not going to be Stamenkovic normally. It will actually be, who's going to be over here? Was it Places would normally be over here. I may move some stuff around. This isn't the final for the first game. Normally I'm going to put Places over here as a Raumdeuter. And the only reason, it's not because it was just a cool name. It's because it did what I wanted it to do. He kind of was going to do what I wanted him to do in those instructions. So I just like, let's try that. As far as the Trecorista over here, again, kind of had the instructions that I wanted to see, kind of did what I wanted to do with this player. So that's why Felix is going to be playing over there. Van Dongen playing in the middle as the Onganch. I mean, he could play any of these, honestly. But again, I wanted somebody that would hold the position. With these two guys pushing a little bit more forward, I wanted somebody to kind of hold that center position there and kind of anchor that attack. Because all these guys are going to be kind of up there, in the attacking, kind of more aggressive side of things. Something like that might work. And then we're going to have our main guy up here playing as a complete forward, which would be Yeah, I think it was going to be Bulow, the new guy that we just brought in. Yeah, there we go. That's what it was supposed to look like. So him coming in as the complete forward. Places really likes to run up the right side of the field. So we're going to let him play this side. He played really well back here. If you push him up a little bit more, maybe he'll be able to get in there, get some scores himself as well, and kind of go from there. Obviously, like I said, Ferrari kind of come in for that Nanad role. He grew very, very well last season. Who did he loan off to last season? Torino. There we go. Yeah. 7.0 last season for Torino. The year before that with Pisa, 7.03. Of course, that was a lower series, but Torino, that's our level of competition right there. So here it is, more or less something of this nature. I want the cover guy to kind of be on this left hand side, going to hopefully. Wait a minute, I want Cortez. Won't I? Yeah, I think I want Cortez over here. Yeah, because he's going to stay back, and that's what I want. So I want Cortez to stay back, kind of cover this area back here. Napolitano also still on the defensive side of things, but something like this, something of this nature. And we're going to experiment a little bit and see how we want to move things around. But this is going to be kind of the way we're going to line up and go from there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I think this is going to be fun. We've still got a lot of really good players. I mean, Joan in here playing in that Mitrovic role, it's going to slot in just fine. And if not Joan, like I said, it was the other guy, Jimenez. He can jump in there right away. Or any of these other guys can move around. I mean, we've got so many guys that can play in so many different positions. There's so much flexibility here that we're not going to be hurting for strong players at any point in time during the season. Even if we got some injuries, which hopefully we don't, but we're going to have a strong group of players. Honestly, our biggest weakness is still the defense. We really just don't have a lot of players that can play on the right-hand side over here. Cortez can swing over here if absolutely necessary. Ferrari can play on this side. Ostergaard, still got him. He can come in. But really, I just feel like our defense is still our weakest link, although that Cortez pickup, I mean, he becomes our best player right now. Literally our best player on the defensive side of things. Hopefully that makes the difference that we're looking for. All right. Well, we're going to put a cut in there. I'm excited, like I said, to get this season started. Hopefully you guys are as well. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of some of the moves around? We didn't lose a lot of players. But we also didn't pick up a lot of players. It's hard. It's hard with this limited budget. Really hard. I'm ready to move on to a team in Spain or England that has a lot of money, quite frankly. These transfers are just like, oh, so painful, so hard to get anybody in. And we'll see if Legal can survive the season. If he gets another 7+ average rating over the course of the season, I think we might be all right. So I do appreciate you guys watching. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye.